Hey you guys, Ryan here. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about why the new PS5 Edge controller is the best paddle controller you can buy right now and why I'd heavily recommend it for almost any player or person out there. First things first, I am not going to have video footage of the controller. I'm not going to show you what the packaging looks like. You can find that in other videos because what I'm going to talk about is the controller, what I like about it, and this main core function it has in the replaceable joysticks. And this is the biggest feature this controller offers. And you're probably wondering why replaceable joysticks are such a big deal. I've used essentially every brand of paddled or back button controller out there on the market. Battlebeaver, Scuf, aim controllers, Cinch Gaming, Shark controllers, the list goes on. I spent a lot of money on controllers. I play a lot of Call of Duty. I play a lot of Apex, Horizon Zero Dawn, FIFA, whatever. I play a lot of games in general. I have this whole YouTube. So I care a lot about my controllers, and every single PS5 controller I've ever had has gotten this massive stick drift issue that makes it unusable, and it's the only thing that breaks. It's not the paddles, it's not the buttons, it's not the controller itself, it's literally only the joysticks. So with the PS5 Edge controller, you get everything you can get from a Scuf, a Battlebeaver. You get the fancy triggers, you get the nice paddles or back buttons, whatever you prefer. But not only that, you get the ability to replace the joystick, which inevitably will go out, and you are going to be so thankful for this. And this makes it instantly better than any other option out there on the market because of that. The second best thing about this controller is the amount of options it gives you innately when you buy it. So you probably didn't know this, but when you bought it, you actually have a ton of customization options that are going to come with the controller. You have the choice between using back buttons or paddles. And you may not know that you have a preference, but a lot of people will actually prefer one or the other. I'm someone who only really wants to use back buttons. Paddles just don't feel good on my hands. They don't feel as easy to press. They just kind of don't work for me. Back buttons, on the other hand, that's what I like, and that's what I prefer because it's super easy to hit. I can hit it with the side of my finger. It makes it so my hand can be relaxed and I still can press the button. And when you buy the PS5 Edge controller, you can choose which one you want to put in. Because in your little box that you get, you're going to have the option between paddles and back buttons. And this is something a lot of people didn't know. The other part is you can change your joystick, and this is really important. When attachments like Control Freak, in my opinion, objectively help with your aim, then having the ability to have a built-in raised joystick that's going to help your aim is massive. You don't have to spend the extra money buying a Control Freak. You don't have to worry about replacing your Control Freak when they inevitably wear down. And you don't even have to worry about stick drift, which is the best part. Because instead of having to spend $150 on a brand new controller with back buttons and $20 for a new set of Control Freaks, you can just buy new joystick modules and joysticks, and that's amazing. This is something we should all be thankful that Sony decided to do, and I'm not sure why other companies haven't adopted it. Because when it comes to the customization options, and I'm going to get into some of the things I don't necessarily like about the controller, this controller is very limited. And I don't mean this in terms of functionality, I mean this in terms of aesthetics, things like colors, different types of wood finishes, all of these interesting things that companies like Scuf and Battlebeaver tend to do just a little bit better than Sony's done here. I like a lot of the colors Sony's done for the PS5 and their controllers, but I'm not sure why they didn't release this controller in any other colors, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot more future variations on this, but right now it's lacking. You don't really have any choice, and I'm sure even when they bring out, it's just going to be a couple different colors. You aren't going to be able to customize your own controller, and that's something that's a little bit of a shame because that's one of the best parts about companies like Battlebeaver, aim controllers, and all of that. The other downside is on day one, and I'm sure this is going to get fixed very, very soon, I wasn't even able to use this controller on PC Warzone. I was able to use it on my PS5 Warzone, and that wasn't really that much different of an experience because of the FOV, thankfully for Warzone 2. But for me, I mainly play on PC. My PC is very well. It's a good PC. I've spent a lot of money on it. I want to play on PC. So the fact that on day one, the PS5 Edge controller didn't work with PC was a little disappointing. You could get it to work in Steam and other games, but on Battle.net, I didn't find a way to make it work without paying $5 for this weird little program, and I didn't want to do that just yet when I know they're probably going to fix it for free. So those are the main issues I have with the controller. and the other is just going to be the price. I think $200 is good value for a controller like this, but it essentially prices it out for people who aren't that invested. If you're someone who doesn't play an insane amount, I mean, if you do end up playing a lot throughout the course of a year, I'd recommend to get it. If you do care about Warzone, if you have the money, I would actually really recommend this, especially if you're in the market for this type of controller. But if you're someone who's not the biggest gamer, if you don't spend a lot of time playing Warzone, if you don't really care about how well you do or things like that, maybe don't spend the $200 on this. Maybe spend it on something else that might be better for you. But in my eyes, if you are looking for a type of controller like this, there's going to be very few options as good as this option right here, and there's a ton of reasons for that. And as I said, the main one is going to be the joystick thing, because you may not think it's a big deal, but as I said, I've used every single type of PS5 controller out there pretty much, and every single one gets insanely bad stick drift to the point it becomes unplayable, and there's no way to fix it. Well, unless you open up the controller and can do all that yourself, but I can't. It's actually a lot more difficult than you would think. And for me, money-wise, this is a lot more cost-efficient to just replace the joystick modules rather than having to buy a whole new controller. Now, I do have to say, if you play other games like Apex, pretty much any first-person shooter, even if you're playing games like Horizon Zero Dawn or Elden Ring, I'd really recommend this controller. As I said, if you're interested in a controller like this, but if you're not, if you're a casual gamer, maybe don't buy this controller. But overall, as I said, I have to put this above pretty much every other controller out there on the market for the PS5 right now, and hopefully the PC issue gets fixed soon, because I can't wait to use this thing. Anyways guys, it's been Ryan. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a good day, and yeah, I hope you're enjoying using the PS5 Edge controller if you pre-ordered it like I did, and overall, I hope you enjoyed if you buy it. It's been Ryan. Peace.